multitudes. I'm running out of black t-shirts for these videos, so I got my snazzy new Walmart special on tonight. Maybe it'll spruce up my thumbnails a little bit and I'll pick up 1 or 2 more viewers. Tonight, episode 7, A Dollar, a Dream, and a Scheme, the pay-to-play trap. Let's get it over with. Now, being a musician can be very lucrative, of course, if you're successful. If you're not, it's probably the most expensive hobby on planet Earth. Right from the start, I mean, you buy your gear. In many cases, you pay for music lessons, which I probably should have done years ago. And then as you progress, you pay to have your music recorded. You pay to host a website, to try to promote it. And then you get to the point where you're going out playing live to try to promote your stuff. And you discover that there are certain venues out there, the more prestigious type venues, that will allow you the privilege of playing at their establishment if you can guarantee a certain number of tickets sold. And they'll be nice to you. I mean, if you're a new band starting out and you really don't have, an audience yet, they'll let you play at their place if you make the difference up out of your pocket for whatever tickets you can't sell to meet that quota. This is what we call pay to play. Now, I'd like to show you something else. Now, this is a screenshot of the money that is in my DistroKid account, and I've never taken any money out of that account. And what is DistroKid, you ask? Well, DistroKid is a service that acts as a middleman between the independent musician and the various streaming platforms. So for an annual fee, you join DistroKid, and they will publish your music to Spotify, to Amazon Music, and various other streaming platforms. And in many cases, they'll take care of securing the rights. If you wanted to do a cover song, which my band did on one of our previous albums. So it's a nice service, and it's great to get the music out there. But as you can see, and it's kind of embarrassing, since 2023, we put 2 albums out there through DistroKid, and there's only $28 and change from streaming in there. It doesn't even cover the annual fee, right? So we're operating at a loss, if we just look at streaming revenue. And the more and more that I got desperate to be heard and to get the music out there and promote it somehow, the more that I discovered that there's an entire economy built around people like me. If you want to submit to labels, you need an electronic press kit, which, if you want to do a good professional one, it's going to cost you money. Even to join some of these services that will send your stuff to labels, you kind of pay as you go to submit. There are services out there where if you want a record review, if you want an interview by some of these music blogs and reviewers that are out there, you're going to pay for that as well. Even YouTube, I mean, if you want to boost your viewership, I'm sure there's extra add-ons that you can pay for, to increase your channel's chances. Now, I've been living paycheck to paycheck most of my life, and, I got to draw the line somewhere. It costs enough to make the damn music, and then to have to go down all these other rabbit holes, which are going to cost more money to promote it with no guarantee that you're going to get a return on your investment. You have to cut it off someplace. And where do you do that? And maybe, that's the lesson or the advice that I'd like to try to impart tonight. The definition of insanity that I alluded to before in a previous episode is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So I've had enough of that, and I wanted to do something different, for this latest album that I'm trying to promote, which is coming out very soon on July 8th. So I started the YouTube channel as a launch pad for the project, and I was thinking, what else, can I do differently to put another variable in the equation to see if it makes a difference. And all those things that I mentioned, all those other pay-to-play schemes, you kind of have to weigh them and say, well, which one do I think might work for me? And what I decided to do is I decided to pay for a record review. In fact, 2 of them. And I was really torn. I was really on the fence about doing that. Like, how honest of a review, I asked myself, would I get from somebody if I paid them to review my album? But the more I thought about it, the more I thought maybe there's something to it, because the reviewer has to, at least on the service that I'm using, they have to agree to the project, and then they'll give you a quote, and then, they'll do the work for you. Some of these reviewers have a reputation, and they have, music websites, and they have, some credibility that they want to maintain. So they're not going to give a glowing review to a piece of garbage. And so they may decline to take the project if they hear, the previewed samples of what it is. And they may say, well, it's not really for me or for my audience, so I'm going to pass on that. By the same token, there's probably some bias that got introduced, into this process. But, both reviewers gave me a very nice review, and they proved to me that they listened to the music and they thought about it. And that meant something, because that's never happened to me before. Not once in my life, or in the past 20 years that I've been putting out music, has somebody that I don't personally know taken the time to listen through the album and then come back with a few pages of thoughtful critique and feedback. So that was worth paying for, one time or twice, right? Because I'd not had that experience. And now I've got a couple of, reviews out there that somebody might read, and that may draw them to my YouTube channel, which may draw them to my album. So it was a bit of a strategy, and, I hope it works. I haven't seen anything really happen that I could tie to that yet. But, that was one difference that I introduced, into my campaign, or my effort here to get this record heard. So I'd like to finish tonight's episode with a few thoughts. Basically, the internet made publishing free, but it did not make attention free. Every platform that's out there is going to offer you extra visibility for a price. And the harder it becomes to earn attention with all the competition out there, like everybody and their brother, wants to be a YouTube content creator, right? So the harder it is to earn that attention, the more valuable that visibility becomes. Always on my mind. And the less visibility I had, the more opportunities I saw to purchase it. So, even to submit to a songwriting contest, for example, is going to cost you money. So everywhere you turn, there's a decision that you have to make. And, you don't want to get yourself into a situation where you've paid a metric shit ton of money for nothing, but you also don't want to miss out on any opportunities that might make a difference. So I think it's a personal decision. I've kind of explained the decisions that I made this time around. I'll let you know if it worked. If not, then maybe I'll have a whole nother series with a new set of lessons to learn, because I don't give up. I never give up. And neither should you.